Nasim, thank you for joining me today on Press Day.
Thank you for having me in the man cave
Uh,
chronicles.
exciting times, 2 seasons in at Chad. One of the first questions I wrote down here I wanted to ask you is like any pressure going into a series like this when you wear so many hats between creator, writer, producing it, starring in it. Did I miss something in there?
Honestly, it has been a labor of love from beginning to end. And yeah, there are definitely days where there's a hell of a lot going on, but that's why you make sure to surround yourself with the incredibly talented people I was lucky enough to work with that helped me pull it off, without whom I definitely wouldn't have been able to get through our shoot days or the writer's room or the edit even.
Mm. Um, I watched most of the second season the other night. What could like the fans that return to watch this? What are you hoping to get out of this season?
Oh my gosh. Well, for those that saw season one, I can assure you we take him to new heights in season two. That was
Yeah.
really important to me, and also, to my incredible writers that I was lucky enough to work with. We really wanted to stay true to the character while also not letting it feel redundant to what we've already
Mm,
seen. So we gave him a love interest this season,
yeah.
which was super fun to write and perform. And we had his grandma come visit, and we kind of forced him into situations where he was reconciling with his cultural background in a way
Mm.
that he wasn't as ready to season one, and it led to some really honest, tough moments for the character that hopefully resonate with audiences regardless of what your background is.
Mm. In I noticed in season two, like he faces a lot of challenges. How would you say he's evolved with this journey from season one now into season two?
Well, at the end of season one, which was really a season about him obtaining popularity,
Yeah.
freshman year of high school, we thought it would be fun for him to actually get what he wanted, but for the wrong reasons. And so you start season two knowing that that popularity is all going to come crashing down, because it was built on this lie. And when it does come crashing down, the character is forced to rebuild from that place of having hit rock bottom and being like, all right, this thing I've been trying to shove down that, this like to run away from, my identity as an immigrant kid, like at the end of the day this is a part of me. And you find him sort of in an incremental way growing a little and being a little more at peace with it than he was before. And obviously in the midst of all that, there's a comedic engine driving the
Right.
show forward, and it's really rooted in these really funny moments that people seem to be really really responding
Yeah.
to season two. But at the core of it is a really honest journey of a kid that's trying to come to terms with being caught between these two cultures.
I don't want to give out spoilers and everything, but I want to talk a little about the beginning of the first episode in season two. When you're on the skateboard thing, who came up with the idea for the Charles in Charge theme song? I love that.
So there's so many fun phases of making a TV show, and that uh special little discovery came in the edit, where we have incredible people in the music department that are, I had Joe, who was my composer, but then you have people that are pulling needle drops and songs, that are pre-existing that you kind of pay for the licensing of. And I think one of our producers might have pitched that. And we kind of laughed it off, like, how ridiculous would that be? But then we were like, it kind of works. And also,
Yeah.
it's part of a dream sequence. So we were able to sort of justify using it. And I think we did that season one too. We had like a Punky Brewster song in there. So it's a little Easter egg for people that noticed
Right.
it. But it was really making us laugh.
Mhm. Your background's huge into the comedy world and everything. And like, how did you come up with like certain like tones for the show, ideas, scenes?
Yeah, I mean, I love comedy that's really nuanced and a little peculiar, and rather than the more traditional set up punchline. I love performing characters where there's a lot going on even in between the lines. And
Mm,
so because I also write from a very character driven place, I think for me it was really important to understand who Chad was, like in terms of his pathology and what he wanted and what his like point of view was. And then once that was figured out, it was pretty easy breezy figuring out ways to like make him funny and
yeah.
give him, give him something fun to play off of with respect to the other characters. And so for me, yeah, it was just about finding honest moments. But because I so knew who he was, it was like such a joy to then improvise from there or
Mm.
to pitch lines in the writer's room for him to say, because we all kind of understood what his deal was.
Did any of these like stories happen to you, and then you decided to take it in and change it around, twist it around, just to throw it into the show?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, so much of it was inspired by my own awkward adolescence, including there's an episode, American Boy, of him desperately wanting to feel like as American as he possibly can, which results in him getting blue contacts, which I, much to my horror, did have a phase in high school where I begged my mom to let me get blue contacts because I so wanted to, you know, uh, look like that for a period of time. And she was like, okay, I guess we're doing this now, and let me go to an ophthalmologist and get blue contacts, which now in retrospect is horrifying because as you get older, you learn to be comfortable in your own skin and celebrate yourself exactly as you are. But one of the reasons high school is so embarrassing is because you're really oftentimes trying to conform and fit in
Right.
and not stand out and look like everyone else. So um, that certainly is a lot of what's driving Chad in both
Mm,
seasons.
right. So with the success of season one, and now we have a season two, have you already thought about ideas for a season three where you want to take this character?
I really haven't because you never know when a show is coming to an end, but that's why we sort of left him where we left him at the end of season two with a really funny finale that ends with Chad following his crush to
Yeah.
Paris, which we thought, even if the show were to end there, what a hilarious way to leave that character in a country he doesn't speak the language of,
Right.
totally over his head.
Last question. Is there a specific episode that you can't wait for the viewers to watch?
Oh my gosh. I mean, this season, I'm honestly so excited for every single episode. In part because of the amazing guest stars we got to play opposite Chad. And there's an episode where his grandma from Iran comes to visit, and I was lucky enough to get Oscar nominated actress Shohreh Aghdashloo, who I absolutely adore, to play Chad's grandma. That's a really fun episode. The episode I just touched on with I think it's called American Boy, with where he wears the blue contacts, that was really a special episode for me because of how personal it was.
Mhm.
I too became a citizen later in life. So the panic of feeling like, you're not even a citizen of the only country you
Right.
were living in or know to live in, um, was very much fueled by my own upbringing. And then there are so many episodes. I mean, my dad's in most of the episodes this season, so that was also fun. It was a real family affair. My sister was
Mm,
directing, my mom was on the show, my dad was a reoccurring character. It was very Persian of us.
amazing. Nasim, I want to thank you for giving me a few minutes today. This was great, and I can't wait for everybody to tune in to watch this.
Thank you so much. Me
Thank
too.
you.